Alright guys, so today there's been some requests in the last week since I started doing the Acabado homepage to show how you could build an actual landing page with Elementor that you could utilize to sell a product or like a ebook, or in this case I kind of found an example online that I thought was pretty nice, and showcases if you have a info product or like an ebook that you want to give away to get emails. And this one's pretty straightforward for functionality. It's not overly in depth, and it's not 17 pages long to try and sell you anything, so it's a good one to replicate and show you how you can do it. As you'll see, they've basically got a background, they've got image, and then the call to action, and then underneath some reasons why you might want to get this book and why this book is different, what's in it, and then another call to action which is the same as this call to action up here. So once it's there, you come down. If you hit the call to action, it brings up the pop-up. The pop-up will have you enter your name, enter your address, and then click, and it would do the send you the recipes. So building all of this part out, and then the pop-up is fairly straightforward with Elementor. After it's built, this you could have send to your email marketing software, and then the first email in that chain would be to send this book, whichever book you decided you were going to use, to the submitter on here. That way you basically build the circle, and then you can start your drip campaign or whatever from that point forward. So today we're going to start, and we're going to go through all of the steps to get this all together. Obviously it's all within Acabado itself, and we're just going to start from a blank page, so that way you guys can see the whole process. I hope it helps everybody figure out how to put these together real quick, and how to make sure they have a way to capture emails with a solid landing page. Thank you. Alright guys, we're inside my Acabado theme website now, and I don't have any page for this, so what I'm going to do is just do add new, and then I'm just going to make this ebook landing page. I'm going to make it straightforward. Go ahead and publish it, because I want it to have that URL, and then we can do edit with Elementor, which will open it up. And then obviously you're just going to get the default here. What you need to do in the first place is you want to go down to the settings, and you're going to want to hide the title, and then your page layout you want to switch to canvas, which means that nothing is on there. So a canvas is cleared off of everything else that exists. That way you can freely create as you need to create. So what we'll want to do is work from here to move ourselves forward and start assembling the look and feel. Alright, so now that we're in here, let's go ahead and start building. So what we have inside here is just one container in the first place, so let's just add one big one. Inside here, what we want to do is have the content boxed, but we're going to want to stretch the area that's available outside of the box for like the backgrounds and those kind of things. And what we want to do is we're going to want to go add a background. So we're going to try and upload one of these real quick. And then I just grabbed real quick what they were so that we can work with the same images to get a similar look and feel in the end. And then what you'll see is they have their one text bar across the top. You can choose to do this or not. We'll toss one in just because it'll help give you a chance to see all of the sections that are there. And then I'm just going to make it, let's see. Let's go ahead and yep, that's Acabado for you. One second, I've got to actually go grab the CSS. pause this for a second. So I made a post about this a bit ago because somebody else was having issues. Acabado has a lot of default settings that are forced set, which causes issues when you're inside the builder from being able to change things. So when you could see and I couldn't make the change to the color of the text, it made me remember that if you're going to do changes and use Elementor, you're going to want to grab some of these CSS settings to unset things that were set by them so that you can control them within the Elementor controls. So the default color is that gray. Let's go into here real quick. So you see how the text is this, and even when you change the text color, it doesn't change. That's because this is Elementor's default color. So what you need to do is actually grab CSS, which I'll insert into the post onto the website. Since I can't put it into YouTube, it will just be inside there. And then what you need to do is go down to Acabado Settings and Acabado Settings again. This is where you can get to your custom CSS section. And then what you need to do is just add this to the end, which just tells it to remove any color default setting and font setting. It just removes the settings on paragraphs itself. So as you'll see, once they're unset, it doesn't change anything, it doesn't break anything, but it means that they're not being forcibly set anymore. So now I should be able to actually, let's update this and then refresh. And you'll see my font immediately jumped over to white that I'd actually set it to over here because I actually removed the force settings with the custom CSS. So I'm finding some of these as I go through and I build these tutorials on these pages, so it should help everybody because I should have a nice pure pack of changes for the CSS to help make sure that Elementor works correctly for you the whole way, because it is definitely not set up to help you get through and edit what you want to edit when you're trying to set these up. So I just wanted to let you all know. So we're just going to go ahead and leave this text for now. I know they've got a blue bar and we could do some more to add overlays, but I want to get the basics in place for us. What we can do is inside, we'll jump back over to here. We want to do some columns in here. As you note, they've got basically, it looks like 50-50 or pretty close. So they've got this book. What we're going to do is we're just going to add, and then we're basically going to just add image. Okay. We've got the same thing. I've got it over in this folder just so that I had one to reference again. Wait for these to upload, put it in place, right? And then what you're going to see is that it's pretty big, so we're going to try and play around with this. Actually, let's go ahead and let's do like 500 pixels, right? That looks pretty close. So this way we can kind of align it where we want to. And then on this side, you'll see we can do inspect and see if these are headers. Doesn't look like it, just looks like it's text. Yeah, so they're just doing text and then just sizing it. Okay, so what we can do is let's add these sections into here. So we're just gonna copy and paste. I'm gonna make this here. I want to make it white, right? As they've got it there. There is also a little bit bigger, so let's go ahead and adjust some of that right now. We'll give it some weight so it's a little bit thicker and stands out. Note their picture is a little bit darker, so we'll go back over to here real quick. Let's go to settings. And then below where you set this up, there's an actual overlay you can do. So you can actually pick this and choose a color. So let's go ahead and make this darker. And then we can make it a little bit more dark. That's getting pretty close. So additionally on their background, it doesn't appear that it's set the same way. So they most definitely have it aligned in a different way. Let's try and see. That one's pretty close. So you can adjust the picture, move it around a little bit, get it kind of centered in the same way. And then we're just going to grab this next section. And then to make this faster, you can actually just duplicate. And then we'll want to do the same thing. We're going to need to adjust this, right? Make it a little bit bigger. Change this maybe to like 900. They definitely have line spacing. So let's see. And then on this one, we'll go ahead and unlink this. And we'll set this be up a little bit more because it's got to be above the book. And then this one, if you're looking, is about parallel with the top. So let's go ahead and adjust him real quick, right? This one we'll go ahead and we're just going to add some padding to push everything down. This way we can readjust. So after you've got those two in place, what we'll want to do, grab this next one. And it's pretty close to this top one, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go grab this one. And then like we did before, we'll duplicate. And then we're just going to drag it below. And then text is obviously a little bit bigger than that other one, so we'll go ahead and shift him down a little bit. And we can go ahead and remove this to give him that space. Now you want to add a button, so what we'll do is go back over to here. You can add the button. So obviously it's not going to be a small one. We'll probably want to do, probably feels good about that size. So when you're looking at this, it's pretty boring. I mean, it's just text. So we can change the text here. Right, we'll want to align it center because that's how they have it. And actually they have it basically full width itself. So what we can do is after this, we can add, they don't have an icon, so we won't worry about that. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Jump this up, make it thicker. And then background color, we want to get somewhere around an orange. So I've got a color picker, so I mean, we can do, if we do color picking, it'll choose this orange for us. And then what we can do is actually just paste in exactly what their orange is, which gives us almost our button. It appears that maybe we want to take this down a little bit. So we'll take this down to like 500. There we go. And then what we want to do is we're going to do one more text block. This one I'm just going to make a new one because I want to make it, it's going to be small. It's going to be white. We can shrink it way down though comparatively. We'll center it. This way you got basically that you're saying you're going to keep them safe, right? So that gets us through that whole first section. There we can. There we go. And then I need to go remove my announcements. I want to remove that green bar from it real quick for you guys, just so you don't see it. So see, 2083, We can just put that in here. Update. Update. I apologize, probably could have removed that beforehand. That removes that announcement, so you guys won't have to see that part. All right, so what I'll do probably now is, actually, let's remove that. This exists here. We can center that. All right. We'll worry about a background afterwards because it's not necessary to duplicate this entirety itself. Because what you're really looking for is to be able to build a landing page itself, not fully clone somebody else's. So I don't want to worry about cloning the whole thing, but just showing how you can assemble this to be done real quick. So what you're going to need is another section. So looking at the next section, it's just one centered piece of text. So you just need one thing, and then you can do boxed still. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to want to add another text to it. And then we'll want to grab this text real quick. All right, so we're going to put this text in place, and then we're going to say probably just needs to be dark, and they've got it pretty big because it loops around, and they've got some weight to it, so we'll make it a little bit more bulky, maybe 900, and then center it, and you'll see now you've got that second part in place already. Then the next part looks like they just got some sort of gradient inside a box that's just two columns itself. So you can do this pretty easily. You want to add one, and then you'll want to just minimize this over to the side. And this is an image. So what we can do is upload that last image. That's not the right one. We can upload the right one. This recipe stack. So you'll just select the recipe stack, right? That goes onto the side. You'll notice it's right there on their side. And then all this is text elements again. So one that's a little bit darker text. So we can take and create two different texts in here that we'll use. So we'll just do one text. This one will be the header, like the darker text. We don't want their settings. So this one will make a little bit bigger. Give it like 700 weight, and then we're going to make it dark. And then what we'll do is we're going to add another text. And this text is just going to be these sections. So the normal text itself. And then these ones you can just do this, right? Duplicate. We can duplicate. It gives us the 3 paragraphs. And then this one. So now you've got 3 paragraphs. What you need to do then is you can take this one, duplicate it. We're going to take it and we're just going to drag it below everything because that's this other header. Right? What we're going to do is just toss that in, and then we got another couple sections of text. So in this side, what you can do, I'm not a huge user of icons, so I apologize. Unlike many, I'm not like a huge icon list user. So these ones are easy. You can go pick the icon you want. So we'll pick an arrow. Icon library. So we'll choose like this one then, right? And then the text of what that would be is right there. So the same thing can be done for each one of these. And since we have 5, we'll make 5 different items. And then switch these over, right? And they start to fill together and look at what they're looking like. So now list item 3, same thing. If you just copy the one, like if you copy this one, then they'd already have the arrow. I'm just moving through the sideway for us. All right, so we're just gonna go there. We'll cut off the last one, right? We don't need to copy everything itself. So inside here, you can increase the space. So as you can see, they kind of take up all the way through the rest of this. So we'll just increase the space a little bit. The text size, you can indent the text a little bit so you can push it off if you want to. You may want to actually come in here because the other font's a little bit bigger. Maybe we'll settle on 18. Right, and then for the icons, we can color those. So right now theirs are just black. Let's make ours maybe close to that orange color again. That way it kind of looks a little bit in line with the button that we have. And then once you come through, you'll realize they've just got a divider line. So easy enough, right? You could just do this. There's a divider already. So I mean, you could toss in the divider. And then you'll want one more because they've got one more call to action button down here. You can do this too, which is the benefit of Elementor itself. You can just drag this all the way down, add this into there, and then you've got a call to action and you've got a complete landed page functionally built. Now you can, if you look at this one, if you hit the button, it actually sends a pop-up to actually fill in the information. So the button gets them to the opt-in with the checkbox for the double opt-in that gets you to actually sign up for the recipe book. We'll do that in a follow-up in just a minute. Hey guys, so back to these buttons. So the buttons themselves actually bring up a pop-up, which actually allows you to submit everything. Within Elementor Free, you can't do this. You don't have access. So the requirements to do the pop-up are going to be within the Pro. So I'm going to make a second video that'll cover building the pop-up and linking it to the button to utilize it. I'll have the link in the description below for the other video and for the purchase of Elementor Pro. I think that it's a very valuable purchase. I am an affiliate, so I mean I get a commission should you choose to purchase it, but the functionality of pop-ups to gather that additional information I think is really valuable and is definitely worth the cost. It'll be in the description below, but if you aren't to this point, then what you would need to do is, instead of a button down here, what you would need to do is embed your form down below, and then the call to action button up here would just force you down to that call to action with that same filling in down here, because you can't get the pop-up. I mean, otherwise you could create another page that this would send you to another page for the sign up form itself, but I think it would just look nicer and be more appealing than to just have the sign up here and then the send me the recipes right off of there then. But we'll be in video 2 shortly here, which will kind of go through that pop-up and linking the pop-up in for everybody. So if you have any more questions, please leave comments. I'm working on trying to build in some more of these to help everybody understand what they can do if they utilize the software the right way. Within Acabado, you can still pull off, some really nice looking pieces. So let me go show you what it looks like as a final result. which is just ebook landing page. I'll put the link inside the description also. But you'll see there's these sections here. This is those parts that I said I've got to go back through because Acabado applies a lot of formatting to text, which is what I'm trying to fix in making all of these. And that way they'll all be included inside that CSS that you'll see in the final post also, because it's overriding the styles for everything. As you'll note, these look like Acabado ones. They've got the slight corners. They've got the very specific Acabado look. This is what I wanted to kind of explain, why the custom CSS is needed to unset some things and fix some of the issues that the theme does by default when it tries to put these together. This can just help you understand when you see a result that you didn't expect to see. It's not necessarily that you did something wrong, but Acabado has some overarching CSS to make it all look and function smoothly. But the problem is it can limit, when you're working in here, you'll have some unanticipated side effects when you go look at it. So once you're done building it all in Elementor, you really need to go look at the front end just to make sure. You may come across, as I do these, I keep coming across different ones that I haven't done before. So now I need to go look at these ones specifically and go see which elements they are, and then go work backwards to go fix them for you so that you guys will get a nice pretty version with CSS that'll actually make all of this work for you. So you can replicate this one and then maybe try and figure out, how you can apply this towards your specific ebook and email marketing to get the signups skyrocketing. Hopefully that's helped you, and I'll put the finished version with the CSS as an image and video after this at the end of the video once I get this all fixed. So I appreciate the time. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Alright guys, so I did find what was causing the issue. So here's the published post itself. As you'll see, I've added on some Elementor fonts that are specific to unsetting some of this stuff as related to Elementor stuff. So now when you visit that landing page, everything loads as it's supposed to. So all of the CSS is actually now on my post that's just about landing pages. And you'll see it's almost a perfect template to just use. So I have uploaded the template so that you can just download it and add it to yours. And on your site, you could sit here and just change out the background, change out your image for your ebook, and then decide what you want to do with your links. And then there'll be a follow-up video that'll be about linking this to a pop-up that has you fill in the email and your information. But I just wanted to make sure I'd finish that off so you guys could see it. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please click to subscribe if you find this useful, and I'll try and make more videos. I love the input. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye.